Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the last part of our session of our conference in Maribor. The first speaker will be John Knorr. He will tell us a few things about the broadcast media newspaper, how to stop websites eating your lunch. John Knorr, please.
Thanks, Vinko. One of the astounding features of the internet is the way that it's carving into media organisations' revenues, simply because organisations such as newspapers are losing their circulations, and people are gathering news information online. The implications of that, of course, are quite profound. All around the world, we're seeing huge numbers of journalists losing their jobs, and staff losing their jobs, and print staff losing their jobs, and reputable and august organisations going broke because of the internet. Now, the problem is, of course, that the internet is taking away revenue, and that therein lies the term, the internet's eating the lunch. But at the same time, Ugly's got processes and opportunities for media organisations, particularly broadcast media organisations, to partake of the internet and have the internet work in favour of those organisations. The important thing about media organisations is that they have relationships with people, and people own businesses. Therefore, they've got relationships with businesses. Now, let's talk about two of those broadcast media, TV and radio on one hand and newspapers on the other. TV and radio that are broadcast organisations have got a fantastic opportunity with Ugly, because they can come in as a national partner and put each of their radio stations, that each individually has a catchment, and their TV stations, each individually has a catchment, into the system as an affiliate, and the system it works perfectly. It's a perfect fit. It's an easy fit too, because we're not involving or requiring broadcast organisations to provide any technology. They are precious to us because they've got that relationship. Now, they've got relationship with two sets of people. One is the organisations that advertise with them at the moment, and the second lot is all of the people and businesses in their catchment, which are usually immense. Let's talk about the first one. Of course, if I can sell advertising to a business for my radio station, I can sell a free subscription, a free membership of the Ugly system to those same people. So radio stations and TV networks can easily adapt their existing advertising and sales networks into using Ugly as an additional revenue stream. And of course, that's a very easy sell, because half a dozen of the services of the Ugly system are free for every business. So it's a very easy sell to get a business to come into the system, particularly if there's a trusted relationship, as there is between an advertiser and a radio station or a TV network. The second group, of course, are the watchers or the listeners to the TV and radio, and among them, of course, are a very large number of business owners that can easily come in, go to the website of the radio station or TV, and log in and register in the system as a business under that radio or TV station. So the opportunity for revenues from the Ugly system for TV and radio stations are profound. The system's particularly easily adapted for radio stations and TV networks for a number of reasons. One is the Ugly spatial search system is just that. It's a geographic search system, so the radio or TV station can set up that search process to initially present the geographic area, the exact geographic area of the catchment of the radio station and TV network or TV station. Now, the importance of that, of course, is that the people who are watching are always in that catchment. The people who are listening to the radio station are always in that catchment. So if they go in and go to that website, the website of the radio TV station, they can see instantly where their business belongs in the system. They can see the roads and the streets and the towns that they belong to. So there's an instant emotional connection between the ugly system presented through a radio station or a TV station with the business that's looking at that system. The same with consumers, of course, because consumers are important. We often, in our conversations about ugly, talk about the B2B relationship and forget about the B2C relationship. But having the ability to bring consumers in and register in the system is enormously powerful and will be enormously profitable for radio stations and TV stations. The ugly system's got some really snazzy processes for making the adoption of ugly very easy for radio stations and TV stations. For example, the system will allow the TV network or the radio network, say, that has 100 radio stations or TV stations in the network, to automatically set up a presence for each of the radio stations, each of the TV stations in the ugly system from a spreadsheet, from an Excel spreadsheet. It's as simple as that. So that there's no technical involvement, there's no requirement for tech-savvy people to be involved. Business managers of the radio or TV station can come into the system, stick in a spreadsheet into the system that we have set up for exactly that purpose, and the system will automatically build websites for each of those catchments, each of those radio stations, those TV stations. So that's an easy thing, and so far it's cost them nothing. And of course it's the easiest thing in the world for a radio or TV station to put in a little bit of an ad for its own website. Now, if you have a look at radio station and TV websites at the moment, they're usually pretty appalling because they just don't have anything much to sell. Some of them are all right, but most of them are fairly ordinary. With the ugly system in their website, then they've got a good reason for businesses and for consumers to go to that website and get involved and do searches and manage their business processes through the system. So it makes the website of that organisation immediately exciting, immediately relevant, and it becomes easier for them to present other information on it, of course. So the ugly system is really partly designed around the needs of media and TV and radio networks. Now, there's more to it than that too, because the system has what we call a sub-affiliate function, and that means that we can even, or the radio station or TV station can even use its own staff, its own marketing staff, its salespeople that are always out, always on the road, to reward them with extra commissions from revenue that come out of their efforts of bringing businesses into the system. Those processes are automatic and very comfortable for the radio station or TV network, because the ugly billing system, which is a very powerful system, can let the radio station and TV station know exactly what to pay in commissions for their sales staff. So the system is really very tightly tailored around the needs of broadcast media, right down to that sort of detail. As well, of course, we have the ability for people using a smartphone to register business in the system. So radio and TV staff that are out socialising and doing all of those things that they do, what we all do, can instantly register business in the system, and that means more commissions for the radio and TV network. So the system is really very tightly designed around the needs of radio and TV networks. Now, there's one other aspect of the ugly system that we haven't talked about in this conference, and that is the spatial marketplace processes cut that bit out. One thing we haven't talked about in this conference is the spatial search processes for classified ads. One of the problems with newspapers and TV networks and radio stations is that they've never really been able to create a critical mass of classified ads because they simply don't have enough classified ad advertisers to create a critical mass. Now, the ugly spatial classified ad system is an aggregating system, which basically means the discovery and the search processes in that system are aggregating the ads of a large number of classified ad vendors. That might be a newspaper vendor, it might be a telco's ads, it might be any of the ugly coalition organisations, and it can also be outsiders, so third-party ad vendors that want their classified ads discoverable and searchable through the powerful process of the ugly classified ad system. Now, the importance of that, of course, is that at last there is a process whereby radio stations, TV stations, newspapers can own a bit of the classified ad industry which they've lost. Certainly in the case of newspapers, they've lost that and they have little hope of getting it back. But with the ugly system, they can get some of it back. So the system has got this added bonus for them that if they want to restart their classified ad business in a meaningful way, or if they want to start classified ad business for their radio station or TV network, they can do it. And they can do it easily, without cost, and have a dynamic new source of revenue for their radio and TV station. So we're talking about two sets of revenues. The B2B stuff and the B2C stuff that comes through the ugly system proper, which is about discovering businesses and doing business. Great revenues, very powerful revenues. 40% of the revenues of the system that the system generates go to the national partner and the affiliates in the system. So we're talking about very significant revenues. As well as there's this extra special way that they can build, at last they can build a classified ad presence that's going to be meaningful for their clients, because when a client comes in, when a user comes in of their website, they can search and they can find all of the classified ads that are available in a geographic area that they're interested in, those classified ads. As we know, classified ads, there's a lot of money in classified ads. There's a lot of money in real estate ads, there's a lot of money in employment ads, and there's some money in motor cars and those sort of things. So we're not talking about insignificant sums here, we're talking about very substantial sums. So the ugly system is an opportunity for TV, radio stations, newspapers to revitalise the way they look at the world and the way they look at the internet. They should be looking at the internet as a friend. Unfortunately, up till now, they haven't been able to do that, but with ugly, they can. The important thing for all of these organisations to remember, of course, is though that the ugly system is designed around a scarcity of affiliates. In other words, we hold those affiliate opportunities in every economy as a scarce resource, and we do that very deliberately. We want people to come in that have got initiative and can get off their tails and get the system out to do that and to make heaps of money out of those processes. So radio stations, TV stations need to be proactive in coming into the system if they stand a chance of getting into the system. Okay? Thank you.